with a pair of denim slouch jeans and a bright purple tee, Dot seemed satisfied to accept the little person she had styled as her new on-screen virtual self, and she pressed the Enter key to save her changes. When the program finished storing her data and loading the new page, Dot found herself in an empty room. If it had not been for the single door on the far left of the screen, she may not have even recognized the two-dimensional representation of a home interior. A help button on the lower right-hand corner of her browser window provided Dot with basic tips about moving around town and chores for the Lila community members. There were furniture shops, appliance stores, hardware depots, and even a library in the village section of the virtual suburb. Dot read how to make money and gain experience points by meeting people, doing chores, and playing games. Playing games? She wondered. Am I not already playing a game by virtue of being here? Why would I want to play a game of blackjack or shoot hoops with another performer in this three-ring cyber circus? What is the point of all this? And why would Chris want to meet me here of all places? Dot clicked on the four corners of her two-dimensional living space and watched her avatar shuffle around the room. She rather enjoyed seeing the little dot spin around or stand in one spot without looking dizzy or fatigued as she would in real life. Dot clicked on the picture of the door, and the screen went blank for a moment while a percentage status bar signified progress of loading a new scene. There was background noise coming from her laptop speakers, and she could make out the sound of finches and other songbirds. On the screen was a picture of a two-story home with steel blue trim and a crimson door. How cute, Dot thought to herself. There's even a red door. What a perfect feng shui touch. Dot smiled as she noticed her avatar shadow follow her around like a puppy dog as she clicked all about the front yard of her imaginary home. She could even hide behind the drooping branches of an old birch tree near the front porch. Pity I can't climb the tree. Now that would be something. Dot's avatar was still behind a shrub when a new player appeared on her screen. A little bubble on top of his head indicated he was searching for Dot.
Dot, where did you go? The computer said you were online, and I joined this room, but I can't see you.
The caricature had a dark gray suit with a white shirt and pink tie. The salt and pepper hair and full beard was indeed a dead ringer for her former colleague, and Dot quickly typed out a reply on her keyboard as she clicked her mouse on the driveway so that her character would come out into clear view. Hey, Chris, you look good, old man. I would recognize you anywhere, even if your name wasn't printed underneath your feet,
Not so shabby yourself, Miss Dot.
Chris countered. How'd you find me, Chris? How did you know I was online? Dot had always been a bit leery of network privacy. Perhaps it was the director of computing at her campus that just seemed a bit too in the know. But Dot was always very guarded about who might be watching her history logs and email archives.
I should have mentioned that the invitation had a pingback confirmation, which would send a notification to me the instant you received your avatar and entered the game. I was in a meeting with the president when my iPhone beeped the alert. And when I told her I was coming to Lila to see you, she said to pass along her best wishes and to let you know how much she misses you at the faculty meetings.
President Branca plays Lila? I always thought of her a bit of a Luddite, Dot recalled.
No, she doesn't play. I think she assumed I was actually meeting you at a new coffee shop in the village. I didn't take time to explain the nuances of the entire situation. I was afraid you wouldn't stay logged in long enough for me to add you to my buddy list.
Just then, a pop-up window came on the screen that startled Dot with a loud beep.
Chris would like you to be on his buddy list. Accept. Decline.
Dot clicked the accept button even though she didn't fully understand what it meant to be a cyber buddy on this strange little game. Buddy list? Is that code for cyber sex cult, Chris? Dot mocked. Because I should think Eli would frown on that just a tad. A little yellow emoticon appeared above Chris's character holding a wooden sign with the letters LOL.
No, it's not a sex club. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I've looked in the events list, and there are certainly a lot of colorful parties. Just a heads up, don't go to any gathering that has the word plushie in the title.
Dot searched around her menu for the emoticon selector and chose a sly wink to indicate that she understood, then added ROFL, which she had just learned last week on Twitter as an even bigger laughing out loud, though she couldn't really imagine why she would roll on the floor laughing about a sexual fetish party. Okay, so we aren't here for sexual oddities. Then why exactly did you bring me to this place, Chris? On the surface, it doesn't quite seem like the typical crowd for a New Age seeker. Dot remembered the long talks over tea that she and her colleague enjoyed during the semester. In her early days, they used to walk around the private gardens, but as Dot became more ill, they had taken to quiet benches under old shade trees for their satsang.
You'd be surprised who you meet here, Dot. Lila is Sanskrit for the cosmic play. There's a lot here to learn about the real world, and then some.
Chris typed. It's the then some that concerns me, Chris, Dot began. I'm really not interested in meeting anyone right now. I have a whole slew of friends at the university who are still upset with me for not taking any visitors. If I wanted to see people, they would be the first on my list for a social visit.
I can appreciate your need for hermitage during your healing crisis, Dot, but I really believe there are people here you need to meet at this crossroad in your life.
I can't make any promises, Chris. Dot tried not to hurt her friend's feelings. I only get a few moments each day when my body feels even well enough to prop myself up and read my email.
No worries, Dot. You just come visit when you can. Walk around the town a bit. Go sit at the beach when you are up to it. Oh, and there's an amazing koi pond over at the park that I really want you to see.
Okay, Chris. I'll catch as catch can.
Oh, and Dot, notice the statistical improbabilities.
Chris beckoned. Beg pardon? Without the intonations of a live conversation, Dot could not tell if her friend was being serious. What statistical variances? Where?
Improbabilities. Just like you teach an intro to statistics. If the likelihood is less than 1 in 20, the event can be considered significant and not due to chance.
Chris explained. Is this a graduate research study, Chris? Did someone in CS dream this application up on one of those new cross-disciplinary team projects?
Anything is possible, Dot, but I don't think this one came from our esteemed student body.
Chris put up another yellow LOL emoticon.
But there is something going on that is worth exploring.
What is it, Chris?
I can't say for sure. I just know that I am beginning to meet more and more people who are having conversations like the one we used to have on Elm Tree Lawn.
There's a Zen community here, Chris?
What I am talking about is truth at its essence and the chipping away at the illusion, sometimes with a sledgehammer.
Chris paused as he tried to think of just the right words to convey his experience, which he knew would fall short in any event.
I don't know where any of this is going, but what I have experienced is that the more people I meet and the more I become aware of my connection with this place and these people, the more frequent I see things occur in my life that are beyond the realm of mere chance.
Wow, Chris, that's cool. Had anyone else uttered such New Age cliches in one sentence, Dot may have brushed them off as yet another miserable seeker who was hopelessly lost within a spiritual cul-de-sac.